Sorry for the camera moving. I'm trying to get my battery plugged in. It always makes it shake. I apologize for that. Hello, hello. Hey, Melinda. How are you today? Please say hi when you jump on. I'd love to know who's here. I'm drinking my green smoothie. What are you drinking today? Everybody post what you're drinking right now. Well, hello, Janice. I am good. How are you? It's Friday, right? TGIF. Coffee. I'm going to be drinking some tea later on. I just got some tea. This is probably TMI, but it's called periodic tea. Get it? It's supposed to help with that time of the month. And I'm very excited about it. Hot tea. There you go, Melinda. What kind are you drinking? I love tea. I drink a lot of herbal tea. I don't really drink like regular black tea or any of that. I drink herbal tea. Well, I'm glad you're excited about the class. Hey, Sandra. Water with lemon. Oh, water with lemonade. I drink water all day long. I try to drink about 96 ounces of water a day, and usually one of my 24-ounce things I put lemon in early in the day. When I wake up, I drink an entire 24 ounces of water before I do anything else. Hello, Melissa. Route 44 ice water with mango and lemon. Yum. That sounds good. Regular black tea with honey. Yeah, I put honey in mine too. I just let you know if that tea works. I will let you know for sure. I actually looked into it pretty extensively. And like I said, if you look up periodic tea, you'll find it, I'm sure. But it's raspberry leaf and ginger are the two most important things during that time. Coffee with 0 sugar. Cinnamon twist marshmallows. You guys are great. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because it's about 3 after, so I don't want to go too long. Okay. So, today is advanced paper crafting. This is my first advanced paper crafting, I'm pretty sure. And I'm kind of splitting my paper crafting 101 into kind of very basic stuff, but things that I may give extra ideas so that whatever level you are probably going to get something out of it. But then my advanced paper crafting, I wanted to leave for techniques that can be a little more challenging for some. So these may be things you already know how to do. They may not be. Hopefully you'll learn something today, or at least get inspired, or maybe I'll remind you of a technique that you forgot about, because gosh, there's so many techniques out there. And I can't cover them all either. So I'm only going to cover what I can. And hopefully you'll get something out of that. So let me turn to my cheat sheet here, because I put it down. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about today with reinkers, because that's what we're going to be talking about today, is reinkers. A lot of people, they think, well, all they're good for is reinking my stamp pad. And that's not true. There's a whole lot of things you can do with reinkers. So we're going to go over some of those things today. Yes, they're great for reinking your stamp pads. I sell Stampin' Up. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And this is what I do for fun. So these are Stampin' Up! Reinkers, and I'll be using them on my Stampin' Up! Pads. There are other companies that make ink pads with reinkers, but I never would buy an ink pad if it didn't have a reinker, because it's just too expensive to keep rebuying ink pads every time they run out. So, and like I said, you can do so much with these. So we're going to talk about several of the things that you can do. So let me move this. By the way, while I'm grabbing something, look, it's our new catalog front. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, you guys. You are going to be so excited. This catalog, they knocked it out of the park. I'm telling you what. Anyway, if you don't know who I am, for those of you that have joined and maybe this is your first time on, please tell us if it's your first time on, so we can welcome you. But also, my name is Jeri Mobley. Here's my number if you need to text me for any reason, ask me a question, whatever. Or you can find me on my website, which is www.shamelessstamper.com. My email, everything is Shameless Stamper, so you can find me there. Okay, I forgot to grab something, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so I have my little pack of things here. Sorry, I'm gonna make noise. Moving things. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about, just get it out of the way, is reinking. I'm actually going to put this here just in case. Okay. So here's our Stampin' Up! Pads. This is one of our classic ink pads. And I love these because you can't, the lid is attached, which is great. And when you put it down like this, it's already upside down, so you don't have to worry about flipping it over, which is really nice. So I love our stamp pads. Okay. They're even better than the old ones. So, okay, so I'm going to show you some tricks about reinking a pad. So, really, when you want to start reinking a pad is when you notice that you're not getting a clear stamp when you use something. Well, yay, Janice. Glad to have you. Where are you from? So, what we're going to do is we're first going to, I usually start in the middle, and the reason I do that is because we tend to stamp more towards the middle, even if you are like me and you try not to, it just kind of happens. So I usually start in the middle, and hopefully you guys can see this. I kind of spiral out like that. Okay. And then I kind of let that absorb. You can push it around a little bit if you need to. So that fully absorbed, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. And this time I'm just going to go in a line. Now, some ink pads are different. Ours are a pretty sturdy, like foam pad. And so you can see I'm just kind of scraping. I'm not even pushing ink into it now. I'm just scraping it around to even it out. But let me show you another tip. Once you've put ink on your ink pad, there's a couple of things you can do to even out your ink. You can take a old credit card or a gift card like this, and you can just push things around until you feel like they're even. And I tend to push towards the middle just because feel like that works better. And then of course you're going to have ink all over this, so dab some of it off. I will grab a Kleenex here, and it will probably dye it forever, FYI. But you can take some of our Stampin' Up! Mist. It also depends on the color, what color you're re-inking, because this has red tones in it. Come on. I guess I need to refill this. Come on. It's being loud. If it has red tones in it, it tends to dye things more than others. So yeah, so that's dyed. But this is old. This is nothing important, okay? In fact, this is the gift card I usually show for cards. So it doesn't really matter. However, we do have a set of tools in our catalog, and they allow you to do things with paste and stuff like that. And so this one right here that has a nice flat edge is another tool that I use quite often to move my ink around and just make sure that it's nice and even. And again, it's going to get on there, no big deal, just wipe it off. Now on this one, I haven't had any staining issues. I don't know why. So I tend to use this the most, but some people like the width of the credit card. So whatever works for you. So I hope you got something out of that. Hey Beth, you're not late. I hope somebody learned something from that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Janice, you're from Orlando. Awesome. I have, I doubt she'll be on today because she's probably working. But I have a cousin who works in Orlando. She actually works at Disney World. She's like the pyrotech person. And she's worked there forever. And anyway, she comes on sometimes. So her name's Lori. Okay, hot chocolate bombs my husband picked me up for me. Go Iona. Okay. So at least somebody learned something from that. I'm not sure who that was, but for the rest of you, I apologize if you didn't learn anything yet, but hopefully you will. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and close this up for right now. Now, the other thing we have is Stampin' Right markers. Now we have two kinds of markers. We have blends. I'll show you this one here. This is a yellow one, but we have blends. These are alcohol markers. You can't refill these. They keep them at a good price so that you just replace them and no big deal. You don't have to worry about your tips or anything like that, which is really, really nice. But our Stampin' Right markers, which are journaling pens and great for script writing and things like that, or we're going to do it later, but coloring on your stamps, things like that. These you can fill with your refill. So you just, I'm going to get ink all over me, just watch. Because that's what I do. So you just work this. Is that a different one? You know what? I think I have to, hold on. I think I'm thinking of the old one. I haven't done this in ages, because you just, I mean, I have ones that are like, I know I have a tweezer here somewhere. Where's my tweezer? There it is. Okay. So, I have ones that are like 20 plus years old, so, and I'm pretty sure they're different. Okay. So you can pull this out. There is a different size tip over here if that's something you want to use. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this is a little bit smaller on this end. Narrower, I guess I should say. And I think you can shove that other side in there. I think. Don't hold me to that. But anyway, so you just take, and it doesn't take much, but you just take this and drop a couple of drops in there to refill it. And I have to find out what the capacity is, but once you've refilled it, you just put your piece back in there like that. All right, and put your lid back on. So these are water-based, just like our stamp pads, of course. Like I said, the alcohol markers you can't refill, so don't do that. Don't try to do that with those, because that won't work. Okay. So we can use Reinkers for our Stampin' Right markers and for our Stampin' pads. Okay? All right. Set that aside. Okay. So, did everybody see the front of the catalog? I mean, it's so pretty. I know you can't like see it close up. I just printed this off so you could see it. That's the only thing I can show you is the front of the catalog. But I'm telling you what, this catalog, guys, my wish list is huge. There's usually several things that I'm like, it's not really me. you know, whatever. Because that's just how we are. We're all different, right? Oh my gosh. There weren't many. Let me tell you. There weren't many. Okay, so I'm trying to grab some of my stuff. I know, it's pretty. Janice, what did you never know? I want to know what you never knew, because it lets me know that I'm at least teaching something. Okay. So I got a bunch of ink refills here so that we can play today. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing a mystery stamping, but I will tell you it's Easter. So I thought we'd work with some Easter colors today. How to refill my markers. Okay, great. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that. You assume it with the stamp pad, but it's nice to know that you can refill those too, huh? Okay, so we're going to do several different techniques today, and I have dry samples that I'm going to be showing you because there's some things I want to do with them once they're dry, and I can't do that with stuff that's currently wet. So I want to be able to show you some things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is splattering. Now, this can be a little bit messy. I tend to get stuff everywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab one of my sheets here. Sorry if that was loud. I'll move that out of the way for the moment. Pad can no longer be re-inked. I don't really know if there is such a thing, to be honest with you. I think they can always be re-inked, but that is a question I will call the company and ask and find out for you, Sandra, because I'm not sure. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're going to make a splatter like this, because this is a really fun way to make a background, or maybe you want to do something on top of something that you've already made. You want to splatter some ink or something on top of something, which is really fun. You can even use the white reinker for that, which is really nice. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take one of my blank pieces of cardstock here. So this is our regular white, basic white cardstock, which is beautiful and wonderful. It's the best paper out there for stamping. Truly the best. And so this paper, you can do this on watercolor paper, and I will show you some watercolor paper here in a minute, but you can totally do this on any of our cardstock. It's not a lot of water, so it dries fairly quickly because this is just, you know, basic ink, and it's just quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a block, okay, one of our blocks, and some people like to use the flat edged blocks, which you can use. It doesn't really matter. They both work. So I'm going to use this one because it's a little smaller. And I'm going to start with Highland Heather, which is the color we were playing with just a minute ago. I was playing with this so much the other day, I'm going to have to buy another Reinker. Okay, I put 3 dots on there. Like, I barely touched it, okay? Now I'm going to take one of our water pens. I think that's what we're calling these now. They used to be aqua painters. Maybe it's water painters. I think it's water painters. So this comes in a set of 3. And the tops have different, let me take these. These are the coolest because you can put them on the end like that. So a lot of these you can't do that with, and that are out there. I do really love that. So they come in 3 different sizes. I guess I should do it like this. So you have the really skinny one, a bigger brush tip, and then you have your flat brush tip. Mine are full of water already. You just unscrew them, and they screw backwards, like the way you think. So you just unscrew them, put water in there. I use, I guess you could use distilled water. I use purified water, so we have a Berkey, so I just use my water from that, which is the water I drink. So I have no idea if just using tap water would matter, but I prefer not to get harsh minerals or chemicals in this, so I don't want it to react with stuff. So I prefer distilled or purified water for this kind of thing. Okay, so we've got our aqua pen, and I'm using the middle tip one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, hopefully you can see this, I'm going to squeeze, so it says push right here. You can just straight up paint with this, but I'm going to squeeze a little bit of water out. I want like 1 drop. And I'm just going to spiral that around a little bit just to kind of loosen it up. And then I'm going to flick against the edge of my and if you want a little bit bigger drop, add a little bit more water. Just don't add too much because it does dilute the I want a little bit right there, but it's not doing it. Okay. It does make it a little softer, but so if you want like 2 shades of the same color, you can do that as well. Okay, and then you're gonna take, I recommend having a little rag or a thing of paper towels, and you can just wipe off the block. Make sure you get it thoroughly wiped off so there's no ink left on it. I usually have ink all over my hands when I do stuff like this, but that's okay. Because you're not having fun if you don't have ink all over your hands, right? That's what I say. I probably heard that somewhere, but that is my saying. You're not having fun if you don't have ink on your hands. Y'all can ask any of my students. We always get ink on our hands. Is anyone frozen? I would love to know what you mean. Like weather? Like we don't have freezing weather here right now. So I'm not sure. Okay. All right, so we have purple. Let's do, like I did green. I did mint macaroon and, what is this? Blushing Bride on this one along with the purple. But I also have Balmy Blue or Seaside Spray, or I can use So Saffron. The reason I don't know if I want to use the So Saffron is because the yellow and the purple will kind of be icky, but we could do, let's do Balmy Blue and pink, so there'll be no green on this one. Let's try that. Okay, so let's do the pink. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to have all these backgrounds available, and we're going to do some fun stamping for Easter. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm kind of bringing this in with tomorrow's class. So I'm going to flick again. I do want some big spots. It's trying to go to the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit more water on there. Try to get a couple of big splats. Okay. All right. So again, we're going to clean this off. Make sure you get all that ink off. And then we're going to take our water, and I wipe it off first, but then I start pushing with water and then wiping simultaneously to just make sure it's totally clean. And it should run basically clear. So you might get a little bit of staining on this, especially from the red colors, the purple, or the, and this dries pretty quick. Or any of the red tones, because that's just the way it is. I mean, like I said, they stain. It's not bad, but it does stain a little bit. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to put one more. Well, that's kind of a half one, isn't it? That's all right. I lost. Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I understand. I didn't put the lid on this one. Okay. So I'm gonna actually put a little more water on this one because I want some big splats. Oh, I got a drop. Oops. Well, we'll cover that up with a sentiment, right? And the thing is, you don't have to use the full sheet. You can even cut it and make it smaller if you want to. I want a little bit more blue. How about you guys? I want a little more blue. Looks like a speckled bird's egg, especially with the blue, eh? Yeah. Ugh, okay. I got another drop, so I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. All right. So I clean my block off. Now I'll just clean. Clean your block off instead of knock your block off. I'm just kidding. Y'all know I'm crazy. Okay. So we just rub this until that runs clean. Pretty good. Okay. So yeah, it's not brushing any color. I'm going to set this aside for right now. And you can see I probably had that much water in it, and now I have that. So I used about that much water. That's not a lot of water for all of that. So this one is more saturated. I've got more color going on than this one, but none of them are going to be the same. So just play with it, have fun with it. Practice a little bit before you go making a project per se, but get to know it, the feel of it, and what works the best for you. So obviously these two little dots, I'll probably end up cutting this piece, but there you have it. Okay. Now let's talk about smushing. Now, there are several kinds of smushing out there. So if you hear the term smushing, you may be like, well, which one? What exactly? I got ink everywhere. What exactly are you talking about? There are different kinds. So let's talk about some of them. Okay, so the first one is something like this, which you can do on the our regular cardstock, which this is, or you can do on watercolor paper. It turns out different, so I'm going to show you both. Now this is smushing with in fact, this is my smush with watercolor paper. So the reason it turns out different is because in this paper, the water absorbs into the paper quite quickly. And with this one, it kind of gives you a moment to move stuff around. So I'm going to show you the differences, but either one can be a lot, and you can splatter on top of this as well. Either one can be really fun because you can cut things out of this. I could take a die like this and cut out this piece right here, and I would have a really fun kind of multi-colored look. Or I could go across two different colors. We even have a DSP right now that looks like that. So while this is not very entertaining on its own, it's great for using for things. So keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to talk about block smushing first, and that's what this is. This is block smushing. Okay, hey Martha. So, oh, thank you, Sandra. I hope you learn them regularly. Yes, more blue. That one does look like a speckled bird's egg. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about smushing first. Block smushing first. Okay, so we have Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and this is 100% cotton. I absolutely love this paper. Is it the best, highest watercolor paper on the planet? No. If you want to be a watercolorer, then that is something that you can learn and get into, and there's a lot to learn out there in the watercoloring area. But for basic watercoloring things, this paper is great. It has a rough edge and a smooth edge. You can use, well, I wouldn't call it completely smooth. It's not like our regular paper, but it's smoother. And you choose what you want for what you're doing. I'm going to use the rough today. But I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these sheets as well, which is our regular cardstock, because we're going to do both. Okay, so let me show you the regular cardstock first. So regular cardstock smushing, all you do is take your ink. 1, 2, 3. Reinkers are cheap too. I think these are $3.75. They're so cheap and they last forever. They will refill your ink pad many, many times, and you can play with them and stuff as well. So that's good. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water on here. And the more water you use, the more, the less saturated the color will be. So just keep that in mind. So I'm stirring it up just a little bit. I don't want it to be all exactly the same, so I'm not going to do that a ton. And then I'm going to really quickly flip it and smush it around. And you can also kind of stamp with this and it'll make some fun little doodads. But my water has already absorbed, so I can't really move it around any more than that. Okay, so that is the smushing that you get from just the regular ink pad. I'm gonna grab another size too. This is Seaside Spray. Oh, I lost a whole bunch right there. So you can see where there was a bigger blob of water, it kind of does a concentration. And so that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. This is Balmy Blue. This is the brush I refill the most because I'm usually doing stuff like this with it. Also, besides just painting. So I don't want all the color to be in one spot. All right, ready? So you can see you can overlap the colors. It can really be a lot of fun to do smooshing. But, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But if you know what, I think it's a lot of fun because it is not a precise thing. It's very free, I don't know. I'm a very analytical person, and so it can be hard for me to be a little more free-spirited, but this is one of those things that I actually really enjoy because I never know how it's going to come out. So that is Mint Macaroon. And let's do a little pink. I'm actually going to do it on this one. How are you doing today, Martha? And I'm just over here wiping this off so that it doesn't have the previous color on it when I switch colors. Okay. So let me wipe these blocks off. So you can see that this smushing is even different from the one that I made, just like our splatter was different, okay? On this one, I chose to leave a bunch of white space. On this one, I wanted to overlap more to show you both kinds. So it does look different. All right, and it'll even look more different as it dries because this is completely dry, that's still wet. So I'm gonna move this over here, kind of out of the way, and we're gonna do a watercolor one. A watercolor piece of paper, okay? So I'm going to start back with the purple. Yeah, so for those of you that maybe didn't hear, just in case, what I'm doing is I'm doing some kind of Easter-y colors because we're going to be doing Easter cards tomorrow, and that way everything will be dry and we can use some of these fun backgrounds. So okay, so you're probably wondering, why are you doing 2 blocks, Jeri? Because I'm going to do 2 different spots, and I might as well do the same color at the same time, right? Right. Okay. All right. So here's my first one, and as you can see with watercolor, you have a little more time. The water stays on the surface, and I can do a little bit more of this kind of fun stuff, right? So it is different from the way the other one works. All right. And you can even come back with another layer if you want to. After it dries, let me show you. You can come back in and put more purple, for instance, over, like maybe you just want some speckles or something over your previous purple. Okay. So we've got a couple. The other thing is with watercolor paper, the water saturates the paper differently. So you can already see here, even though it's not totally dry, that there's some kind of water demarcation happening. This was a water drop that I put on after, and I will show you how to do that. And it pulls up some of the color. This is a spot where I touched it with my water pen and kind of made it disperse a little bit because it had gotten really saturated right there because I was playing with it. I don't like how it turned out, but anyway, so you can do lots of fun things, and really honestly most of what you learn is from playing, because you can watch video after video after video, but until you do it yourself and play with it yourself, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna get it. You've got to play with this stuff yourself. So don't be shy. Please don't be shy. Get out there and just do it. It's fun. You can sit down in a day and make a million backgrounds for cards to play with. And why not, right? I mean, come on. It's fun. So I'm going to use the Seaside Spray here. Notice I didn't do a ton. I just want a little bit there because I'm not really sure where else I'm going. Let's grab some of the mint macaroon. Some people say macaron. They're both correct. I've looked it up. I looked it up when the color came out. Like, when was that? Oh, I don't even know. 2 years ago when we changed all our colors? Maybe 3? I don't even know anymore. So, and you can see those are crazy looking blobs. There's no like rhyme or reason to it. I'm just goofing around. Now this is the balmy blue, so it's a different color blue. I'm trying to get some different. This has got a little more of a teal to it. It's not teal, but it's a baby blue, but this one is more of a periwinkle. So I wanted one that had a little more green tone to it to play over here. All right, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can play on this side some more. Okay, let's do pink. We need some pink. Oh, Margaret, thank you. Watching from Rhode Island. Thank you for sharing. It's not your first time on here, is it? Okay. And remember, the more water you put on it, the less saturated the color is going to be. So if you want a more saturated color, don't put as much water. I want to use a little bit of the So Saffron on this one. You gotta be careful. If you haven't looked at my color theory class yet, it's a good one to check out. You do want to be careful with putting colors that are opposite together. So yellow and purple, I don't want those to touch. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna go up into my green, because yellow and green can touch, right? And yellow and pink can touch, because that's gonna make kind of an orange. But I don't want it to touch the purple. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more of the seafoam here and kind of go into that spot right there that turned out a little. Yeah, that'll turn out a little green. And we have a demarcation line now. Oh well. All right, if you get too much water, you can blot it up. I did. I got too much water. My bad. So it's also very forgiving, and if you end up not liking, well, thanks for joining us. I'm glad to have you. For those of you that are new, if you didn't already hear, my name is Jeri Mobley, and I am on every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. So join us, because we have fun. We're fun. We're the cool guys. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I do want a little bit more of that here, so I'm just gonna go play with that a little bit. Okay, that looks better. I like that. Okay, now what do I want to put over here? Actually, I think I'm going to put more of this because, yeah, because we actually haven't used this a ton. Hiccup! And, but by the way, those of you who've joined and haven't told us what you're drinking right now, please tell us. I am drinking a green smoothie. We would love to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more of the balmy blue as well right here. But just a little bit. So I have a tendency to like start too big and then wish I hadn't. So, you know, probably a smaller block like this is better. Excuse me, my voice was cracking. To keep yourself from, you know, overdoing a spot, unless you want it to be really big. Okay, look how that went into the yellow and turned green, like right away. Isn't that beautiful? That is so beautiful. And then we've got a little bit of a demarcation line here because we didn't, you know, do that right away. And I think I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the purple and try to get some varying colors. I just want some difference in that. What do you think? Water for you also. Nothing. Martha, you should always be drinking something. Drink water at least. I'm sorry, I'm talking to like Martha talking to Martha like that because I know her very well. Okay. She's gonna be like, yes, ma'am. I know I should be drinking water. I'm sorry. Okay. So, really fun. And you know what? You can keep playing with it if you want to, or you can go, less is more. I'm done. This looks great. Whatever. Okay. And so then this can be a background piece. I'm going to hold the dry one. You can see how different these are. I mean, they're totally different. But you can do, and this will dry down to a lighter color. Anyway, you can use this as a background, or you can cut it into strips, or you can cut die cuts out of it. You can do whatever. This watercolor paper can be cut for die cutting. It's similar to our cardstock as far as our heavy cardstock as far as weight. You're drinking water, it just has coffee added. I'm drinking my green smoothie. Oh, okay. Well, that's totally fine, Martha. I'm just messing with you. Okay. So you can see how they're totally different, but still really fun. So I'm going to be excited tomorrow to see how this one turns out. I may even come back and put a little more pink over here, add some variation or something. So yeah, so these are really fun to do. All right. Trying to keep my stuff that I did today and my stuff that I did yesterday separate so one can dry and then all that jazz. All right, so let's talk about smushing with a stamp. So there are different stamps out there that you can, actually, let's do the stamps last. I apologize. We'll do the stamps last. There are different stamps out there, though, that you can do smushing with, and we will talk about that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is smushing with saran wrap. And these are two samples that I made with saran wrap. I'm actually going to be using press and seal. Saran wrap works a little better, but I don't actually have any saran wrap because I use press and seal for so many things, including my craft room. And so that's what I have. So that's what I'm going to use. So anyway, this was done on regular cardstock, and I'm not going to show this on watercolor paper, but I am going to show this on cardstock. FYI, when you do things with water, sometimes your paper likes to curl a little bit, so just kind of, you know, curl it back the other way. Most of the time it'll lay back down, unless it's like super warped. Okay, so let's start with this one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of cardstock, and I'm going to get my press and seal or saran wrap out, and I'm going to get a piece of this. It doesn't have to be a very big piece. Just something that you can, you know, the one cool thing about press and seal is it kind of holds its shape, but something that you can kind of scrunch up into weird little peaks and valleys, okay? And then I'm going to take a bigger block so I have a little bit more space, and since this one was in pink and purple, I'm going to do blue and green. So we're going to do, yeah, we'll do balmy blue and mint macaroon. Or mint macaron, however you choose to say that. Okay, so I'm going to put some dots here. This is very little ink, FYI. Very, very little ink. And if you do more than one at a time, like you're doing multiples, you can use that saran wrap over and over and over again. Now I'm going to change color, so I'm probably not going to do that, but just FYI. It does reduce, you know, waste if you do multiples. So you just kind of get it on all those surfaces, and then you're gonna, and I try to start in different spots so that I don't have like one area that's more saturated than another. And I just do that until I'm happy. And I might be like, okay, I gotta get more there. Whatever. And you can also do some of this, okay, which I'm gonna show in a little bit. So I'm just gonna set this blue one up here because I don't know if I'm done with that or not. And that way I can save it. Grab another block. And I'm gonna put some of the mint macaroon on here. And I'm gonna grab another piece of press and seal. What do you guys think so far of that? Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty cool. It's very organic. It's very different, and that was a bigger piece than I really wanted, but that's okay. Do you guys, I changed my lighting again. I tried to go to a daylight bulb, and I'm trying to decide if I like it. And I can't decide. You guys will have to tell me what you think. I'm gonna have to put some more water in here because I'm using a lot of it. Yep. All right. You notice I wipe this off between every single color because I don't want to infest another color with the wrong color. Contaminate it. Let's say it like that. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go over here and just kind of get different areas of this. And remember, I want to start in different places and get all over the paper, and then I can come back and fill in where I feel like I need to. That's really pretty. I like those two colors together. FYI. Okay, I'm going to set this down here too because I'm not sure if I want to get rid of it. So there we have it. Isn't that cool? Woo! Okay, so I did one yesterday in purples and pinks, and then I did this one, and this one is lighter. I didn't use near as much ink as I did yesterday, but that's okay, because whatever you do, it's gonna be beautiful. You guys, there's nothing you can't do with these. It's always pretty. Okay, so now let's do something like this that has a little bit more density to it, but this is still with smooshing. Okay, smooshing. Smooshing, smooshing. I guess it's smushing, but I like to be funny, so it's smooshing. So that, hold on. So that I don't have to go to the sink every time I need water, I have a little like hair thing with water in it, and I always make sure I have one of these little tiny spouts, which most of the hair ones do, so that I can easily get water in here. And that's no problem. Okay. That's full again. Woo! Okay. And yes, that's my good water. Okay, so we now have, I'm worried that I sprayed the screen, you guys. Did I spray my camera? I hope not. Oh, I think I sprayed my computer. That's funny. And now my computer is acting up. Okay, so we're gonna do, so I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna start with the green. So we'll do a different order here. And I'm actually gonna put a little bit more on here. You guys, okay, I don't know why the thing is refocusing. That's so weird. Now remember, the more water you put, the less saturated the color will be. Okay. I'm glad you love it. And like it, and all those fun things. Okay, so we're gonna start with the green on this end, and we're only gonna be on this end. I want a quarter of the sheet, basically, to have the green. And I can even twist if I want to. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do this until it's a little more saturated with color. And the reason that we're doing it like this is because rather than just popping color down, this gives us variety in the color. We get these ups and downs of color. We have white mixed amongst light and dark mint macaroon. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside, and we're gonna grab our blue, and this is the Balmy Blue. Saran wrap, I prefer press and seal because it holds together, and Saran wrap. Those are the two things I would recommend. I am gonna do a class on things like sponges and stuff like that, and there are some things you can do, but they look different. So if you want this look, then Saran wrap or Yeah, saran wrap or press and seal is basically going to be, because I mean, I guess you could try foil, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to look different. But you know what? Play with it. Give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That's kind of the point of this, is to experiment and do fun things that you've never done before, and, you know, have fun. You guys, this is supposed to be a fun craft. Just play and be a kid again. Imagine how much fun a kid would have doing this. I mean, seriously. This would be a really fun thing to do with your daughter or son or grandkids. So if you have children or grandkids that you can, you know, sit down and play with and get some ink out and some paper out and just goof around, use all kinds of different things and see what kind of looks you can come up with. Because that's the fun part. It's experimentation, it's playing, it's if you're playing with a kid, you're also building memories. By the way, I had one of my dear friends from my childhood who has been on here several times. She has younger children. I have college age kids, so she mentioned scrapbooking with her kids and wanting to do that, and I said, oh my gosh, I need to do a kids series. So it's in the works. It's not going to be anytime real soon because I've already just changed some things around and I want to get used to that first. But I'm looking and I'm talking about thinking about whatever, so a kids series. So keep your eyes peeled, because hopefully that will happen. If you get stuck, you might have to, it happens with Facebook, you just have to, like, close your browser and get back on. Yes, that's a really fun technique, Martha. Completely different. We will talk about that at some point, because it is really fun. I can't cover everything in one video, and while you can put some techniques together, and I want you guys to see that as well, I want to make sure that I cover some of these basics first. So the next color I'm gonna do is the Highland Heather, and we are covering more of the paper, so I am using a little bit more ink, but it's nothing compared to the bottle, let me tell you. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I did with this, and it's still, I've refilled at least, you guys probably can't see that. I've refilled my ink pad several times and then played a whole bunch with it, and it's still like halfway full. So I need a couple more pieces of press and seal here. Press and seal is a really great craft room thing to have. I highly recommend it. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with it, and we'll learn some more of that down the road. I want to teach you everything at once, but you know, I can't. So I get so excited. I'm like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I'm like, okay, that's going to be 5 hours long. So, I mean, this has already been an hour and I'm not done. So, I understand if you guys have to leave. Oops, let me get this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now I'm going to do the purple. All right. And the reason I want my piece, this scrunched up a little bit, is because I don't want it getting everywhere on the paper. I want it to stay in this one little area. When I was doing the whole paper and just doing a light press of it, I could have a bigger piece. So keep that in mind too. Play with the different sizes of things and see the differences that they make. What do you guys think of this look? Isn't that cool? I mean, I think this would be a really cute background on an Easter card. It's not too busy, but it's fun and it kind of looks like an Easter egg, but in a unique way. So you can see I'm overlapping my colors, and I'm doing that on purpose. All right, I think I used up all the ink. And let's do pink. So, or birthday card, yes, that'd be very cool. I would probably use some brighter colors for that, or maybe the person's favorite colors, something like that, or theme or whatever. Of course, you could use any combination. Now you might see what I did here. I kind of went in rainbow order, or color wheel order: green, blue, purple, pink. So that way the colors next to each other complement each other rather than conflicting. I don't know that I'd want to put pink and green next to each other because that is going to make some muddy waters. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? There we have it, guys. So that is the more concentrated smushing with saran wrap. Okay, now let's talk about smushing with, look at the difference. Isn't that amazing? Okay. I get excited. Okay, now let's talk about using our blocks the same way, but for a little bit different reason. So I'm going to take this purple block. I'm actually going to throw these out because I'm pretty much done with those. They're just going to make a mess on my table. Let me wipe these off. I'm going to get ink everywhere if I don't. I go through so many microfiber cloths. I love using microfiber cloths in my stamp room. I love my Stampin' scrub. I do. But I probably use these more because they're a little more portable, and I know some people really love our chamois. It just didn't jive with me. I don't know why, but I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. So whatever, you know, to each their own. All right, so what we're going to do this time is we're going to take a piece of paper, our cardstock, and a block, and I'm going to use a couple of colors. Let's see. I want to use, where's my stamp? Okay. So I'm going to do a couple of different stamps if I can find I'm going to grab a couple of stamps from the Hydrangea Haven, which is the class we're doing next week. And I want to show you some things that you can do. Okay, I need one more block for this. So this is the filler that you can use for the flowers. So first of all, let me show you how this is meant to be stamped. Sorry, I'm grabbing a color. I'm going to grab Gorgeous Grape. So what I would probably do in this instance is I would take the Gorgeous Grape and I would stamp this image. This one is tight. I need to work on that. We need to talk about how to loosen up your stamp pads. I have no idea why this one has gotten that way, but I will definitely do that. Little tip we can do. Okay, and then you can take this one and just kind of do this way a colored overlay. That's really dark right now. It will fade, or you can do a second a stamp off if you want, or even a third generation stamp like that. Okay. So what I want to show you now sorry, blocks everywhere here, is how to, I'm just cleaning that off with the water that's on there. So I'm going to leave this here so you can see this. What we're going to do now is what's called baby wipe. Do you see this mess? I keep my wet baby wipe in here so I can reuse that. That still has ink on it. So what I did is I put a couple different colors, and I'll show you how to do it. This one maybe it's muddied now because it's been there for a long time. So I'm gonna I don't want to get ink all over me, so I'm gonna throw that in my trash can. Pick up. It's so funny when I do these videos, my craft room ends up a mess, and then I have to clean up after the video. Okay, so I use wet wipes that are water only. This is 99% water with a drop of fruit extract. These are the ones I use in my classroom because I don't want anybody to wipe a stamp off with a baby wipe because that can hurt your stamps. These are just water wipes. But the concept is exactly the same. So, I'm locked up again. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. I have ink all over my hands. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Reinker. This is the Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to do a few little spots. Now, I could do this with just purple. Or I could do this with pinks and stuff too. So the reason we're using a wipe is because the wipe has water in it and it kind of makes like a faux stamping pad, but it gives you a fun water feel to your stamp. Now I just realized something that I didn't do, and that is I normally push out some of the water, but this one's not too saturated because you don't want it to be uber saturated. Okay, so I hope you can see that. What that does is that gives me some differences in the colors that I am getting on my stamp. So I have two different colors of purple, and because of that, I am getting different colors in my lines. I like that one better. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Now, the other thing is you can do the same thing with this piece here. I'm actually going to do it over here to the side so you can see how it looks. Okay, so we have a difference in color, and also it's part of that made to go over the blob. Also, you can still do a second generation stamp of it if you want to. Or you could do these as your backgrounds like I did here, and then use your full straight up like Gorgeous Grape if you want to do that. You're switching to wine, Iona. This is my lunchtime. I have a huge, it's like 8 cups. I fill that up twice worth of smoothie, so it definitely holds me. Okay, so let me show you this other one I did. So this is the one I did yesterday, and I actually put in purple and pink and blue. So these are the colors that are in our hydrangea paper, actually. Excuse me. Just try to make a little spot here with everything. And we're going to do the Seaside Spray, because that's the color that's in that, and I wanted to mimic what that looks like. And then we'll do some, and you can use this over and over and over again. That's what the cool thing about it. Yes, I'm putting several drops, but I can do multiples of this, like just over and over, and have a lot of fun playing with stamping. And I can make, I mean, talk about mass producing. I mean, I'm serious, like you can totally mass produce with this. It's a great way to do that. So I'm going to clean my stamp off, and I will show you what that looks like. So I just took that stamp in there and then stamped that back over here. Isn't that beautiful? But again, you can also use this. Isn't that beautiful? So you can do a lot of fun things with this. I mean, you could stamp that all over a piece of paper and it would be really cool looking, because it would be like different colors of smudgy dots. I mean, whatever you want to do. I mean, I think this is really, really cute. So this is a lot of fun to do as well with stamps. So you can use more of a solid stamp, or you can use a line stamp like this one to do that kind of thing. And then I can keep this and come back and use it again if I want to. Set that over there. Okay. Let me show you another one I did. I did this with, because I wanted you to see how this works. I did this with the bigger piece from the hydrangea set. And then you can cut it out using this and have a really fun multicolored little leaf thing. So that works as well. Okay, now a couple more things real quick that you can do with your Reinkers. One of them is you can watercolor. Now, there's two different things I want to tell you here. This is not something that you can do with just Reinkers. I can take a stamp pad and do this and get some ink on my block, okay? I can also take a stamp pad, our stamp pads, Stampin' Up! Stamp pads. If you squeeze them, you can get ink here, and you can use this as a water palette. You just leave it open on your table like this, and you use this as a water palette. The other thing you can do is watercolor with it like this. Now, this is a water brush. So I have, I want to do a couple of colors. I don't know how I grabbed that. I want to make something similar to this. So I'm going to go with, yeah, I'm going to go with blue and I may need more, so, and pink. Actually, I need more pink. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bigger brush, and I am going to go ahead and drop a little bit. This one's always harder for me to push. I don't know why. A little bit of water in here, because I don't want it to be really highly saturated. Okay, do you see my little puddle here? And I have my flat brush. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to go across my page. This is not watercolor paper, you guys. It doesn't have to be. And if you're not happy with an edge, if it pulls like that, that's okay. You can just trim that off when it's dry. All right. Now you don't want to go over it too many times on regular cardstock because your paper will pill. So if that's an issue for you, you might want to use watercolor paper. And you can do this, obviously, with watercolor paper because this is a type of watercoloring. Is it too much information, Beth? I wanted to show as much as I could about Reinkers. It's a lot, I know. But I just wanted you guys to see a good deal about Reinkers. So this is a wider tip brush. So I can get a little bit of a wider line with this one. And watercoloring on this kind of cardstock versus watercoloring on watercolor looks different as well. So just keep that in mind. Well, I'm glad. That's the point of these classes, is to help you guys learn and have more information so you can expand your own crafting. Now, this is not meant to be perfectly straight. That's not what this look is. This look is meant to look like this. It's meant to be kind of, not childlike, but raggedy, okay? I mean, I'm not trying to be raggedy on purpose. It'll do it all on its own. It's watercoloring. All right, now I'm gonna use my really skinny brush to do my blue. And I got a little too much water there, but I'll just leave it over to the side. And I'm going to come in here and do my skinny lines. And then, you know, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do because I've done this before. You could alternate making your lines. I knew where I wanted mine to be, so I like this with the blue. I mean, I like the green I did yesterday too, but this is pretty. All right. So there we have some, they look like shirts. I don't know why. It makes me think of a shirt. Okay. So there's some basic watercoloring. Now, I could come back over this and splatter paint. I mean, we can mix these techniques together too, guys. So don't feel like you're limited to one. You could do some basic watercoloring on the background of something and then come over with a different color doing the smishing. I mean, you could do all kinds of different things. So don't limit yourself. Just play around. Okay, one last thing I want to show you guys with the watercoloring. And that is that this is the stamp set I'm going to be using tomorrow, Springtime Joy. I just want to make another Easter card. We've used it before, and I might use a couple others too, but I really just wanted to make an Easter card with this because it's almost Easter, and I just wanted to have fun with you guys. So we're actually going to do a mystery stamping, and I am using right now Early Espresso to stamp that in, and put that to dry. I'm going to show you. Actually, I want to make two. Sorry. I apologize. I'm almost done. I promise. You were thinking the same thing about the shirt? Jerry, you and your shirts. Oh. Tie-dye. Yeah, tie-dye shirt too, yeah. Yeah, any kind of material, right? Okay, so what I can do, I'm gonna get another block here, and I need mint. And I stamped with Early Espresso, and I'm gonna do some stuff with the soft suede, which is a little bit less. Yeah, Colors are fun. Okay, so we have water painters, but we also have blender pens. And blender pens are really cool. They have two sides, so you have more than one side to work with. They do wipe off as well, but they do stain. And what I do is they come in a set of 3, and I have one side for each color family. So when I'm doing a red or a pink, I'm using this. Orange and yellow. Green, blue, purple, and brown. I have hiccups, sorry. So I have my different colors. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So with a water pen, and I'm gonna get a little bit of water here. With a water pen, now I'm not squeezing when I'm on the page, just so you guys know. Don't confuse anybody. With a water pen, I'm gonna get a lighter look, and it is gonna look more like watercolor. If I go over this particular ink too much, because it is a water-based ink, I'm gonna smear it. In this case, it won't really matter because it's also brown, so it's just, you know, gonna look like it should be that way or something. Okay. Now let me show you the same thing with, is that my brown one? Yeah, that's my brown one. Let me show you the same thing. I'm just going to take some more of that ink over here to the side. Now my water's over here. This is over here. You can see how it's different. It's not water. It's actually got other stuff in it. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. But it works more like a marker. And it does blend better than straight up water would. So, and I don't mean blend like our blender pens do. I just mean you can move it around and it doesn't look like you watercolored it exactly. It looks more like you colored it, but it's smooth. It's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, and you can see it's darker. So I'm going to wipe this off just like I would wipe off my water pen, my water, whatever they call that now. Okay, so I'm done with that color. So I'm going to do the same thing with these eggs real quick, okay? So I'm going to start with my purple because I've already got water over here. And put some purple in there. And my purple tip. That is gorgeous grape, so I need a little bit of Highland Heather. There we go. This over here is gorgeous grape. I could use that, but I don't want to. So again, I can use this from the top of my ink pad too if I want to smudge in the inside of my ink pad. All right, so that goes clear. Wipe that clear. All right, next color, blue. So this is obviously going to look watercolored because it is. And the other is going to look a little more like markers. So I know people ask me that all the time, what's the difference? That's the difference. You can do different things with these. So don't feel like, you see how I mix that in? I kind of mix it in. I like to do that because I feel like I get a better look when I do that. Just know that you can get different looks with different things. So I know sometimes people are like, why do I need everything? Well, you don't need everything, but you do get different looks, and that's what you have to know what you're looking for, what you want it to look like. Okay. And then I'm going to color water over here. So I don't know if you guys can see a big difference from far away. I am going to lift it up here in just a second to show you so that you can see the difference. I'm not even putting a full drop down, guys, for this. Like, you don't need a full drop. I barely need anything. I know that looks like really bright pink. It's not. It's stained. See, it doesn't do anything to my color. Reds just, like I said, they stain more. Just the way it is. And we'll do this one. All right. So there we have it. You have water-based watercolor markers, like our water painters. I don't even use regular paintbrushes anymore because I've used these for years. Even before we had them in our catalog, I had another brand, and I love them. They're less messy. And this is with the blender pen. So it's a different look. They're both beautiful. It's just a different look. So I hope you can see that well enough. So I know that was a lot of information, but I hope you guys learned something today and you enjoyed your time. Before you go, I do want to make sure that everybody knows that I am on every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 2 p.m. Central Time. And on Fridays, I do classes like this where we learn techniques, organizing, we do fun fold cards, depends on the week of the month. And then on Saturdays, I do my monthly class, my paper pumpkin, my monthly club, and then the fourth week we do either a paper share or a kit class or mystery stamping. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that today's class was advanced paper crafting. If by chance you want to order something before the month is out and you need somebody to order with, I'd be happy to help you. Right now we do have the retiring list out. You can go online and see the items that are leaving, and if you want it, I recommend you get it right away because it's gonna go, and some things are already gone. So anyway, if you want to place an order with my host code, if you do order $60 or more, you'll get a free set of opal rounds from me. And then, of course, if you're interested in my class or my club, my May class is open until the 7th, and my May card club will be open until April 22nd. We'll be doing a really cute set of, I'm so worried I'm going to get ink on these. We'll be doing a really cute set of cards for the class. Look at these cards, you guys. How cute. How cute. I love this paper and this set. This well-suited set. It's so, so cute. And I think I'll do a drawing here in just a second. And there's the layout. That's an add-on layout if you're interested in layouts. I know everybody is not, so that's okay. And then, of course, my May club, we're going to be using the Sand and Sea. And here's one of the 4 projects we'll be doing. It turned out so beautiful. This is going to be so much fun. You're even going to get a blending brush in this club. So that is coming up in May. And don't forget, if you're not doing Paper Pumpkin, this summer one that we're doing this month, which ends April 10th, is going to be really fun. It's called So Cool. And then we have my Spring Bingo. If you're interested in participating in that to get one of these items for free, you can let me know and I can get you more information. Also, for those of you that are interested in kits, I am doing a kit class on April 24th. The sign-up date, I believe, is April 9th. Ooh, I shouldn't say that because I can't remember. Let me check. It is April... I'm so bad. Sorry. Oh, you guys, I was right. April 9th. I can't believe I remembered. And it is I'm so worried I'm going to get stuff all over this. It's the all-inclusive Hello Dear Friend set where you're going to make these cards. They're so cute. They're so, so cute. It includes a stamp set, a block, an ink spot, and all the stuff you need to make cards. And I'm making alternatives included in this box. They're adorable. In fact, here's one of them. I hit the camera. I'm so sorry. I made a layout using it's a little less than 1/3 of a kit. So, because there's 3 sets of the cards, but I didn't use them all. I didn't use everything. So it's really pretty. It turned out gorgeous. And I think the set is beautiful. So, great set. So if you'd like to do that, just let me know. If you're a demonstrator, you can join us. Just buy your own kit, and you can join us on the 24th for that. If you need a kit, please let me know, or you can order on my website, and I will help you out there. So here's my info. Let me know if you need anything, and if you want a new catalog when it comes out this next month, please tell me and I will get you one. It's lovely. You're going to enjoy it. It has some great stuff in it. So for those of you watching the replay, thanks for joining on as well. And for those of you that joined me live today, I really appreciate it. And I love each and every one of you. God bless.